Hello and welcome to Mpesa Reviews. Today we will be taking a look at something slightly different. Reliability is one of the most important aspects of a car that can influence a buying decision. On top of all the other aspects such as fuel efficiency, practicality, and resale value, most people also want a car that will not give them problems and end up turning into a money pit. They want a car that will always start every morning, a car that will just keep running year after year. They want reliability, and that's what we will be looking at in this video. If all you want is minimal expenditure, reliability and durability in a car, then avoid or run away from this. The first one is a turbo. Turbos are good for power and performance. They try to achieve a good balance between power and fuel efficiency, but on the flip side, they can be very expensive to replace once they fail. In fact, the question should not be if the turbo will fail, it should rather be when will it fail. You will have to always be very watchful because turbos are composed of moving parts that spin at very high speeds and produce a lot of heat and pressure. This means that proper lubrication is required for turbos to work effectively. So you will have to be keen with the oil changes and always use the recommended quality of oil. Secondly, before you drive, it's advisable to warm up the engine so as to allow the oil to get thinned and start moving freely in the engine. You will also need to allow the engine cool first before you turn it off after driving. The idea behind this is that if you turn off the engine immediately after driving, the residual heat may boil the oil in the turbo and consequently lead to accumulation of carbon particles that may result in corrosion. So you see that you will have to be keen and always watch out for the turbo, otherwise it will fail, and once it does, it will cost a lot of money to replace. So if you want absolute reliability, then it's safe to stay away from turbos. The second one is a dual clutch transmission. A DCT consists of two sets of clutches. One controls the even gears while the other one controls the odd gears. This type of transmission is very fast in shifting of the gears, and it usually has a sporty and responsive characteristic to it, but on the flip side, it's a complex transmission in nature, and finding mechanics who fully understand how it works here in Kenya may be a bit difficult, and even if you find them, it will cost you quite a lot of money. Generally, these complex DCTs are not reliable, so stay away from them if you want absolute reliability in a car. The most reliable transmission to get are either a manual or a torque converter automatic. Some CVT automatics are also reliable, such as those from Toyota and Honda. The third one to avoid is a diesel engine. Diesel engines can actually be very reliable, but extra care and caution is needed to keep them running well. For one, being that most diesel engines are turbocharged, this means you already have the turbo to watch out for. Secondly, these modern diesel engines are even more complex. There's a lot that can go wrong, including the DPF or diesel particulate filter issues. Thirdly, being that our diesel here in Kenya is not of very good quality, it can compromise on a diesel engine's performance or even in some cases lead to engine problems. Also note that repairing a diesel engine is more costly than repairing a petrol engine. That said, if you just want a personal car and you value reliability, then go for a petrol engine. Diesel engines are best suited for commercial vehicles that need lots of torque, such as pickups, lorries, and buses. The fourth one to avoid is an electronic parking brake. We have to move with time, but unfortunately we also have to move and leave behind some mechanical, reliable, and durable car components such as the traditional mechanical handbrake in favor of the new electric one. The mechanical handbrake is one of the most durable and reliable components in a car, and even if something goes wrong with it, it's normally a cheap and easy fix. Compare that to a complex electric handbrake, which can cause some serious issues. In fact, there have been cases whereby car owners have opted to replace the complex electric handbrake with the traditional mechanical one. It can cost some significant amount of money to repair an electric handbrake if anything goes wrong. And in addition to that, not just any mechanic will be able to repair it. It will require a proficient mechanic who understands it fully and who also has the special scanning equipment. It's surprising that to even just change the rear brake pads, you must have the electric parking brake disabled. So again, if you highly value reliability and minimal expenditure on a car, then run away from an electronic parking brake. The last thing to run away from is too many sensors. Modern vehicles are coming with many features that rely on sensors to work properly, and this means that if the sensors fail, then these features also stop working, and it will require a lot of money to buy and replace these sensors. You will also have to find mechanics who understand how to work on or repair or even replace these sensors. There are some sensors that almost all modern vehicles have, and their main advantage is that if they detect a problem or malfunction, they will then create a trouble code that is in turn recorded in the ECU or electronic control unit, so that when a diagnostic scan is done, the specific problem or issue can be fished out quickly. The main point is that there are some sensors that you cannot run away from, and these are the sensors that almost all modern vehicles have, such as ABS or anti-lock brake system sensors. There's also the mass airflow sensor, among others. But there are also sensors that you don't really need, such as a tire pressure monitor sensor, suspension ride height sensors, and auto high beam sensors. It's not bad to have these features in a car, but it's also important to know that if these sensors fail, then it will cost you a lot of money to repair or replace them. So if you want minimal expenditure and absolute reliability in a car, then avoid too many sensors. Avoiding too many sensors means going for a car with lesser features, probably just a basic car. So there you have it. Those are what you should avoid if all you want in a car is minimal expenditure and absolute reliability. Please consider subscribing if you find this content helpful. You can also use the details in the description box to support the production of this content by donating. That's it for this review. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.